I'm on Hinge for like the 100th time, and I actually got a match that I was excited about, or somewhat excited about. Calm down. And I messaged him, and he responded, and we actually messaged for a little bit, for a few days, and then after a while I was like, I don't really like small talk, and I'm not super into talking on this app, so are you down to meet? And he says that he would love to meet me, and asked what my plans were for Sunday, which was the next day. And I responded saying that I was free in the afternoon and that I would like to get together with him, and he ghosted me. I didn't really invest anything into it, so I'm not mad, but I'm just like, make it make sense. Why would you tell someone that you love to meet them, if you don't want to? I don't understand. I just don't understand. Just communicate, honestly. But whatever.
She's on Hinge for the 100th time, but still acts like a complete rookie who thinks she's his only match. He's obviously talking to other women who are younger and hotter, so he simply dropped the least valuable option. Getting ghosted is the new normal, so she needs to shut up and deal with it. Welcome to part 7 of this series. You guys seem to enjoy this, so here's another one for the books. If you're new here, you can check out the previous ones later. Happy New Year, let's freaking go.
When I tell people that I haven't been in a long-term relationship for a while, people say, oh my God, I don't know why you can't find a man. Find a man? Oh, I can find a man. I can find a man, I can find a boyfriend, I can find a cuddle buddy, I can find sex anywhere. What I'm talking about is a partner. We're getting older. Things get hard. Life is hard. I want the guy that's going to be a ride or die. I'm looking for the partner who's going to be there emotionally for me when my parents pass away. I'm looking for the guy that's going to go out and get 2 jobs while I lose my job and go into depression for a couple months. I want the man who's going to hold me while I hold my dog while the vet has to finally put him down. I'm looking for the guy who's a partner.
It's pure delusion to list a catalog of future tragedies and expect a man to sign up for the misery. She literally demands a guy work 2 jobs while she sits at home because she's hypothetically depressed. No man with options is volunteering to be her emotional insurance policy.
Just had another boy not show up 2 weekends in a row. And this one was pretty set in stone. Like, we were chatting yesterday, it was definitely on. He has my address. He lives an hour away. He has been texting me every day for weeks. This morning, crickets. Nothing. I've texted him, no response. I'm actually starting to think that anyone who says that they met their partner on a dating app has just been paid by a dating app to say that.
Another one finally had to taste their own medicine. He lives an hour away. He likely woke up, calculated the gas, the time, and the effort, and realized you just weren't worth the commute. It's hilarious to watch the panic set in when the crickets are finally chirping on their end. Welcome to the reality you created.
I just really need a guy to explain this to me. I can have, 10 different people trying to talk to me. But once I confirm, you are the chosen one, I choose you. It's like they immediately, their spidey senses are tingling and they know that. And then they immediately don't like me as much. I can literally feel the energy. So I'm like, is it because do I change? Like, once I'm like, I actually like this person, do I do something different? Because it's almost like as soon as I make that decision, the vibe changes immediately. Why? Why is that?
You're juggling 10 different guys and have the audacity to call him the chosen one? That is exactly why they leave. No self-respecting man wants to feel like he just won a raffle ticket after you've been entertaining a football team's worth of dudes. The vibe changes because he senses the shift from you being casual to suddenly locking on like a heat-seeking missile. It's not his spidey senses tingling, it's his survival instinct telling him to escape a woman who treats dating like a talent show.
single girlies, help me. Where are we meeting the men? Like, where do I meet a man? Just a little bit of context. Like, I'm in my 30s. I don't want to go out clubbing or go to pubs. I don't drink a lot. I don't think anyone can afford in this day and age to go out clubbing all the time unless you're an influencer and you get it for free. So where are we meeting them? I also get told a lot by guys, because I read books and like my own company and like being in my own house, I'm boring. So where do you go if you don't drink that much or you don't want to go out clubbing? Like, where do you go? What do we do? Like, we meeting them at fucking Kmart? Like, I don't know. Where am I meeting them? I just can't. Someone needs to help me.
You want to catch fish but refuse to go near the water. You're in your 30s, refusing to go to the places where social interaction actually happens, and yet you're confused. It's not a mystery. Men are everywhere, but you've decided your couch is more important than putting in the effort. When guys tell you you're boring, they're giving you the cheat code to fix your life, and you're ignoring it. You can't stay home and expect a man to just manifest in your living room.
If you live in Minneapolis and you have successfully found a boyfriend or a husband via the apps in particular, please tell me if it's worth the time and how many dates you had to go on to meet that person, because I'm losing all faith in the apps and feeling like the time and the energy and the effort to go on these dates and meet people, the payoff just isn't there. So I need a little bit of hope, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel that it's worth it. So if you have met your partner on the apps, please let me know. And likewise, actually, I'd really, really like to hear from the women that have met their partners not on the apps, because that is so rare these days. I never hear those stories. So if you have a story on how you met your partner not on the apps, even better if I can replicate it and essentially have the same exact outcome. So please let me know, give me a follow, and send me any comments or any tips that you have. I am all ears, all ears.
You view men as a transaction and wonder why the business is bankrupt. You are asking for a blueprint to replicate finding a husband like it's a baking recipe? That desire to control the exact outcome is precisely why you are single. You view dating as effort, expecting a guaranteed payoff, but men aren't prizes you redeem after punching a time card. If the payoff just isn't there, it's because the market has decided your value isn't what you think it is. You want a shortcut to the finish line because you lack the character to run the race.
So recently I've been asked quite a few times, how come you're single? I don't really know how to answer that question. Some people will say, oh, you're pretty, why are you single, blah, blah, blah. But I'm pretty sure how you look has got nothing to do with how you're being single. Don't get me wrong, there's got to be an attraction there when you meet someone or you want to have a relationship with someone. But when people say, why are you single? What are they expecting me to do? Give them a list of all the things that I'm really bad at, or all the things I'm really good at, or past relationships as to why they ended or whatever. I don't really know how to answer that question. How do you tell someone why you're single? Because I haven't met anybody that I actually trust. Nobody that I've met has made me want to carry on dating them. We've either not clicked or I've not fancied them enough. I don't really know, but also I don't want to start talking about past stuff and exes as to why I'm still single. I've not even been single that long, really. I've only been single just under 12 months. So it's not like I've been single for years, but it's still one of them. What do I say? Why are you single? I actually don't know why I'm single. I've just not met anybody that's made me want to spend that much more time with them yet and give them that time and actually put somebody else's feelings and what they're doing in front of my own at the minute, because I'm still healing from my breakup. I just don't really want to say that when you first start chatting to somebody.
You pretend it's a mystery, but you just admitted you're useless to a man. You sit there feigning confusion about why you're single, then explicitly state you aren't willing to put a man's feelings or needs before your own. That isn't a healing journey. That is just you being selfish and emotionally unavailable. You aren't single because you haven't clicked. You're single because you want the benefits of a relationship without offering any of the sacrifice. Men ask that question to check for red flags, and you just waved the biggest one. You are a waste of time.
Why am I single at age 31? Well, statistically speaking, it's because it's safer to be single than what it is to be in a relationship. If I was to start dating and get in a relationship, I'm probably going to meet the person who unalives me. So that's why I'm single.
You're calling every man a potential murderer just to cope with being unwanted at 31. If you really think we're all killers, do us a favor and stay single. We don't need a woman who looks at us and sees a Dateline episode waiting to happen.
Dating is so weird. You know, you can message someone, be dating for a couple of weeks and messaging during the day, and then all of a sudden the conversation just stops and there's nothing. And I don't think it's ghosting, because either of you could restart the conversation, but just no one does. Does anyone else have that? Or is it just me?
So you know what's the worst part of dating when you're 31 is that either all the good ones are married, happy for you guys, but then you have this pool of guys that's either gay or they're just not worth it.
Why is flirting so easy until it's someone that you actually want? Like, my version of flirting with you is avoiding all eye contact, avoiding you at all times, and not speaking to you ever.
Day 6 on Hinge. I have about 5 guys that I've matched with, but they haven't written something to me, and it's my preference that a guy contacts me first. So I'll just wait around. I've 2 of those matches have been matches for about 4 days, and they haven't messaged me. So if I haven't heard from them tonight, those 2 guys, they're just going to go, because they're obviously not interested in messaging. And, you know, I understand that Christmas was happening, but I still feel like if you haven't contacted me within 4 days, you're not really interested in getting to know me. I have one guy who I try to ask different questions, so it's not the same old boring dribble. And I asked him what was something that made him smile recently. And he said a patient, I think he's in the medical industry, or someone being pain-free. And then he just responded, "What about you?" I hate that, because he has put no thought or anything into the question to me. So do I respond? I actually don't know if I'm going to respond. And I'm a bit sus, because every photo he has is like a professional looking photo, even from afar. Like he's doing something, he's writing, or he's sitting on a beach. It's all very, very perfect looking, which makes me a little sus. So I probably will delete him. There's another one. Oh, this guy. We were exchanging a few messages. He said that he doesn't celebrate Christmas. And I just responded, Seventh-day Adventist, which is a religion. It's not abnormal. Like, I think it's well known. And he just goes, "What?" ? Now, this guy is a younger guy. And I'm kind of like, if you don't even know what like a religion is, and I feel like that is just a simple one. If he doesn't understand that, I don't know. I think I'm going to get rid of him too. So that's where I'm at. There is not much going on. Which, did I expect any more? Not quite. Yeah. We'll just see what tomorrow brings. On one of the lives I had recently, one of the girls suggested a different app. I have to see where it's at, and maybe I'll join up that on the weekend. We'll see.
You aren't looking for a husband, you're looking for an excuse to stay miserable. You delete men for not messaging during Christmas? You reject a medical professional because his photos are too good and he politely kept the conversation going? This is self-sabotage at its finest. You are sifting through opportunities just to find reasons to be offended. You aren't sus of him. You're terrified of a man who actually has his life together because he exposes how much you don't.
He got a flat tire on the way to the date. Pulled over on the freeway, changed his tire, got back in the car, and drove and met me, and he was only 10 minutes late. What? If he wanted to, he would. The other boys that I go out with would still be on the side of the road this morning calling their mom or AAA. I was like, oh my God. And he shows up And he's like, okay, wait, give me a second. He's like, I'm all sweaty. And he's got, you know, dirt and oil all over him. He goes into the bathroom, washes up, and comes out. And I was like, hi. It's funny because we've matched a bunch of times before and just never met. And is this like my person? Am I going to seriously date this man? Absolutely not. Would I see him again? Absolutely. Am I going to see him again? I have no idea. I don't really care. Like, it not in a bad way. Fun, cool, great kisser. Different than most people that I go out with. And I mean, obviously he's still a creative. He's in, you know, TV and stuff. He was like really cool. Oh, and he showed up in this little like crop top thing. And he had tattoos and he was hot. Anyway, had fun. It was good. Like I said, fall reset. Goodbye, August men. Bye-bye.
See this? This is the bullshit men go through. He changed a tire on the freeway, showed up on time, and proved he's a capable man, miles above the helpless guys waiting for a tow truck. His reward? You toss him out because the month changed. You scream for a man who would, but when he actually does, you still treat him like a disposable toy.
So I'm going to take one for the team and ask this question. A lot of my friends and followers that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, ladies, are asking if you men notice the little bit of extra fat, the stretch marks, that maybe our tits aren't as perky. Do you notice these things, or you're just happy to be with us?
Ladies, let me let you in on a secret. We really don't care. When a man is with a woman he truly desires, he isn't auditing her body for flaws, he is just grateful to be there with her. We aren't critiquing your stretch marks or looking for perfection. We are loving the softness, the history, and the reality of you. You are stressing over things that we barely notice because in that moment, you're exactly what we want.
So I thought I was about to go on a date with this hot surfer guy, and instead I was asked if I had a spare room. Yeah, so I'd matched with the surfer guy, and we're talking for about a week, trying to get to know each other, and he said he lived in Malibu. So we're getting to the point of like planning our first date, and that's when he springs it on me. He actually lives in a sober living house in Malibu, and he gets out the next day, and could he come crash at mine? And I was just reminded of that story because I matched with somebody this morning on Hinge, and I asked him what his plans were for the long weekend, and this was his response. So, I mean, good for you.
You swipe on the hot surfer because you crave the excitement and the look, but you ignore the reality that often comes with that lifestyle. You are fishing in a pool of instability and acting shocked when you catch a hobosexual. If every man you match with needs a spare room or a sponsor, it's time to admit that your type is the problem. You need to stop swiping for vibes and start swiping for a credit score.
I love when a guy from a dating app asks for my number, and so I send it, and then they text me, hey, it's Matt. Like, hi, I'm bored. What am I supposed to do with that?
Karen, that is literally how introductions work. He is politely identifying himself. What did you want him to do? Open with a cash advance to pay your water bill? If a simple hello is too boring for you, you don't want a partner. You want a clown to entertain you.
You know, a lot of people on dating sites, a lot of people do a lot of talking about men doing things. And I just want to say that we have enough men doing things. It's not that you're not doing the things. It's doing the things for yourself that makes you happy, that is fulfilling to you, in healing parts of yourself that feel abandoned, that feel wounded, those things that have made you feel hurt in the past, relationships that didn't work out, you know, what we want. When I talk about men doing, it's doing things like healing. It's doing things like being prepared to be in another relationship, being prepared to learn and grow, but to also protect and provide. Like, you know, men do a lot, and I'm not saying that they don't. And I know that a lot of the men in my comments and in my messages, you know, kind of repeat the same pattern. Not all of them, but they repeat the same pattern. You know, they're tired of being hurt. They want to have a best friend that, you know, goes to war with them, you know, that has their back. Somebody that they can trust, and that who trusts them, and you can be, you know, best friends, and it's just, you know, you and your partner against the world. But I think that's a little bit skewed. And I don't say that because it's not important. Like, I want a partner like that too, where it's just a safe harbor. But I want to mention that in order for a woman to feel safe with you as a partner, you have to do the work on yourself. You have to be in a place where you can accept a woman that wants to go to war with you, stand by your side through whatever. But she's not going to do that if you can't do that for yourself. If you can't say, these are the qualities that I'm looking for in a partner. This is what I want my life to look like. This is the ideal situation that I have. And I'm not just talking about vague terms, like being a best friend. What is it that makes that person your best friend? What are the traits of somebody that you know that you can see yourself long term with? And after you do that, flip it. What is it about you that would make somebody, that would allow a woman to want to be that person at your side? I guarantee you it's not just for your money. I guarantee you it's not just for what kind of job you have. It is how you show up in the world. It is how you present yourself to the world. It is how you feel about yourself. You know, and I'm not one to say that you can't love anybody if you don't love yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have to be healed. You have to be in a place to accept your partner and to accept all of the things that come with them. And yes, women have to do that too. But if we're truly healed, if we're truly in our feminine, we need a man that already does that. Okay? We've already done the work. We've been doing the work. We have spent our whole lives trying to be safe. We have spent our whole lives trying to choose a partner that we can be vulnerable with. You know, a partner that's not going to hurt us. A partner that's not going to physically hurt us. A partner that's not going to emotionally manipulate us. Make us feel guilty for the feelings that we feel. because that's what's wrong with relationships today. It is a toxic play. It's a toxic environment that we're all in. And we need a place of comfort. We need men that are protectors and providers. We don't need men that tell us, you know, you have to put in 50-50. This is how it's going to work now. No, because in our lives, we're showing up 70. You know, we're showing up 100 because we have no choice but to show up 100. And you should be showing up 100 also. And with that, you don't get to demand. You don't get to demand anything from us, because the world as it is already demanding everything from us. The world is run by men, and all of us are exhausted. All of us are struggling mentally, emotionally, financially. And I'm not saying that to demonize men. I'm saying that because you're caught up in it too. You're feeling the effects of what it means when you don't heal your emotions, when you don't feel like you're doing enough, when you can't love yourself, when you can't heal the parts of you that are hurting from your childhood, when you were told that showing emotion was weakness. And so that transmutes into other things. That transmutes into violence and war and taking, because you feel like you're owed something. You're not owed anything. None of us are owed something. But it takes a man that is fully healed to be able to have a partner that is healed, because a healed partner is not going to choose a wounded man. So it's something to think about. So leave your comments. Tell me what it is you're looking for in your partner. What are your non-negotiables? Does this resonate with you? Are there things from your childhood that you're still struggling with, that you're still dealing with? Go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with that. Heal those hurting parts of you. Especially if you want a good woman, because a good woman is going to treat you the way you need to be treated, the way you want to be treated. But that woman is going to need somebody that treats them with the same respect and the same value. I hope that makes sense.
We've already done the work. That is the most arrogant lie you've ever told yourself. You sit there lecturing men for 9 minutes about their trauma and wounds, while claiming women are these perfect, fully healed beings who are just victims of a man's world. That is pure delusion. If you were truly healed and in your feminine, you wouldn't be harboring this much resentment, blaming men for everything from your exhaustion to global warfare. You demand a man who is a protector and provider, while refusing to offer him peace, actively telling him he isn't allowed to demand anything in return. You don't want a partner, you want a scapegoat to subsidize your life while you pat yourself on the back for being a professional victim.
So tonight's date caught feelings for someone over the weekend, someone that he felt a romantic attachment to, which means that he didn't feel romantic for me, which always makes me feel so good. But that is why we always have a backup date. And I did have a backup date for tonight. So here's the fit. Oh, excuse my very messy room. I'm going through all of my old clothes. Going to a dive bar, one that I love, one that is very niche. It's old, it's in the valley, it's great, he picked it, and it's one that I used to go to all the time with an old situationship. So yeah, it's September. Those August, those July men, we're leaving them behind, okay? We're starting over. We're doing this, let's go. Okay, I'll give you an update later.
You treat men like spare tires and wonder why you never get to the destination. The first guy canceled because he found romance, actual human connection. You meanwhile just pulled a backup off the bench like you're staffing a dinner shift. You aren't dating to find a partner, you're dating to fill a void in your schedule. And taking the new guy to a dive bar haunted by your old situationship isn't a fresh start, it is just recycling the same emotional garbage. You aren't leaving men behind, you are dragging your baggage into September and calling it a date.
All right, let's do this, a dating recap of the date I just went on. It deserves its own special video because I've got a couple pet peeves. 1, met this guy on Bumble, totally fine. He said he was 45 and 6 feet tall. I go to the restaurant, which typically I don't do food dates anymore because I don't want to be committed. But I got kind of just happened. Fine. I met him. He wasn't 6 feet tall. He was probably 5'10". I'm cool with that. I actually have my filter set at like 5'8" or 5'9". I'm fine with 5'10". Just don't lie on your profile and tell me you're 6 foot, because clearly you're not fucking 6 foot. I'm in flats. You're a little taller than me, and I'm 5'5". That's number 1. The big one. Number 2. I looked at this guy and I'm like, I don't think this guy's 45. I mean, I'm 42, almost 43. I'm not saying I look 25, but he looks older than 45. I don't get into it. At the very end, he tells me, you want a shock? And I'm thinking, no, I don't want a shock, but I guess I'm going to be hearing one. He goes, I'm not 45. And I'm thinking, no shit, you're not 45. I'm like, okay, how old are you? So he's like, guess. I'm like, oh, fuck, really? What are we? Like, really? So he turns out to be 57. This motherfucker was 57. Again, totally fine dating older, but sir, you do not get to dictate who you go out with because you feel like you're 45. Feel doesn't matter, dude. You were born in 1965. You were born in the 60s. Put your age on there. Just because you want to date younger women doesn't mean I want to date someone that's your age. Like, come on, man.
He lied about the stats, but you lied to yourself by staying. You walked in, saw he was short, looked at his wrinkled face, knew he wasn't 45, and still sat down. You claim you hate the deception, yet you tolerated it for an entire meal. You aren't a victim of a shock reveal. You are a volunteer who ignored her own eyes because she didn't want to be rude. If a man starts the date with a lie, the date is over. By staying, you just proved to him that his manipulation works.
I live in New York City and I'm turning 40 in 2.5 months, and I feel like I've really given it my all in terms of trying to date here and find age-appropriate people to even really hang out with. And it's been almost 4 years and I haven't cracked the code. So women my age, if you're single and you're in New York, what are you doing? Are you finding age-appropriate men? And like groups of people to hang out with, because I feel like everyone like left during COVID or something. I got here after COVID, but that's my guess.
You're starving in a supermarket and blaming the supply chain. You live in a city of 8 million people. If you haven't found a single age-appropriate match in 4 years, the problem isn't a post-COVID exodus. It's your own market value. The code you can't crack is simple economics. The successful, eligible 40-year-old men you want aren't looking for a 40-year-old woman. They are looking for someone 10 years younger. You aren't facing a population shortage. You are facing the harsh reality that the men you feel entitled to have better options.